Hello everyone, my name is JWinder and this is my Mod 11 case study, Every Day Counts, for AEP 858. First we're going to summarize this case and establish the facts. We have quite a bit of information here in this case and I'm going to try to highlight some of the important stuff that we need to know. First, newly appointed principal, myself, Mr. Rhodes, is tasked by Dr. Newman, the superintendent, with fixing an attendance problem at Golden Oak High School that is affecting school improvement and student development. This is my first year on the job there, and Dr. Newman has highlighted this as one of the largest problems that we need to fix. So I have identified 5 students' data to look at out of the 659 that have missed more than 10 days. That is 68% of our student body who has missed over 10 days of school. I have a veteran staff of teachers who work at Golden Oak and have excused the absences of these students despite district policies and state laws. So evidently they have not been following district policy, and for some reason prior administration has delegated this job of them excusing absences or unexcusing absences. Golden Oak is a large high school with 965 students in grades 9 through 12 with a diverse population and many sports and extracurricular activities. Most students are from middle-income families, but there are some students from high-income families, and then there is a portion of them living in poverty. Those involved in the case were myself, Mr. Rhodes, Dr. Newman, the superintendent, our veteran teachers, the students I've identified, Karen, Tyrone, Christina, Carl, and John, and then the parents of these students. Some of the reasons for absences were personal reasons, church functions, family trips, and physical therapy. Now, some of these sound like things that could possibly be approved as excused if the proper channels are followed. But I think one of the biggest red flags that I noticed here was, number one, the teachers making the decision to excuse them, and number two, many of these things seems like they were in excess, they'd already been on a family trip, or physical therapy was done during the school day for the star quarterback instead of possibly some other time of day where he wouldn't miss school. And then lastly, student performance has been affected by these absences. Now we're going to take a look at some legal or ethical issues. First, legally, we're breaking state law and district policies on student attendance and truancy by having these or allowing these kids to miss so much school. And then ethically, teachers are not properly reporting absences or excusing absences they shouldn't, which could also go against their contract by not following proper protocol. Now we're going to synthesize exactly what has happened in a single sentence. Newly appointed principal, Mr. Rhodes, is tasked with fixing an attendance problem at Golden Oak High School that is affecting school improvement and student development. Now we're going to synthesize the facts. What are the facts in this case? The people involved, like mentioned earlier, were Mr. Rhodes, myself, the principal, Dr. Newman, the superintendent, our veteran teachers, students Karen, Tyrone, Christina, Carl, and John, and then parents of the students. We have a diverse demographic. Our parents commute a good distance to work and aren't able to support after-school activities. The place is Golden Oak High School, which is a community that is close to a metropolitan area. Our program is a 9 through 12 public high school. Now we're going to review and prioritize the information. I do believe that this is a situation that could be damaging to the community if this is not handled correctly. Principal Rhodes, Dr. Newman, the teachers, students, and parents all have an important stake in the outcome of this. We need to make sure that we are on the right side of the law, we're following district policy, and more importantly, we're doing what is best for students. It appears that the only group of stakeholders that need to be consulted would be the school board. I don't believe there's any other information that is needed, and there is enough information to make a decision on this matter. Now we're going to identify options and some possible consequences. Option number one is to take no action. If you take no action, nothing is done. We're not supporting school improvement. Option number two is to simply begin enforcing the rules. But there are still several things not taken care of. Option number three, we're going to take a combined dynamic approach where we are going to, number one, build great relationships with staff, students, and community. We're going to develop new policy with school board approval where there's no gray area and the principal determines excused and unexcused absences and teachers only report attendance. Number three, we're going to meet with teachers and staff to inform them. Number four, we're going to inform parents at back to school night on the school website and share on social media about our policy and everything that it is involving. Number five, we're going to offer support to families for any reason that they may be absent. We're going to work together with social services and the juvenile system to work together and offer this support to these families. Number six, we're going to hold teachers, students, families accountable when a policy is abused. Now we're going to evaluate these options. Option number one was to take no action. I think the pros in this are the parents are happy, their students are not getting in trouble, there's nothing, they all seem to have been okay with the reasons why their students were missing, so I think that they would be happy in this situation. The cons, nothing is resolved, we're still continuing to break state laws, and there is no student development or school improvement. Evaluating options continued. The pros and cons of option number two by beginning to enforce the rules. The pros would be we're actually attempting to address the issue a little bit here. The cons would be we have several issues that are still not resolved. Evaluating options continued. Taking a look at option three here. This combined and dynamic approach where we build great relationships, we develop a new policy where the principal determines excused and unexcused absences, teachers only report attendance, there's no gray area, our policy is black and white, and everyone understands this is what we need to do to support student development and school improvement. Three, we're going to meet with teachers and staff to inform them. Four, we're going to inform parents at back to school nights on the school website, share on social media. Five, we're going to work together with all of our juvenile services and we're going to offer support to families. Number six, we're going to hold teachers and students and families accountable when a policy is abused. The pros of this option are the problem is addressed and improved over time. It's obviously going to take some time. And it supports student development and school improvement. It's doing what's best for our students. And the cons, there are none available that I see here. Now we're going to take a look and choose the best option. What is our best option out of these three? I believe it is option three. Option three is the decision that supports student development and school improvement. This decision needs to be done with great care and great relationship building between Mr. Rhodes, staff, students, and community. I think this is the most creative option, and all stakeholders have been consulted. Now we're going to take a look at and imagine implementing our decision. What does that look like? Number one, I would continue positive relationship building with staff, students, and community. That would have been one of the first things that I tried to do as I began my first year. Number two, I would work together closely with the board and superintendent to develop the new attendance policy. I think this policy is something that is important and it needs to be adhered to by everyone and understood by everyone. Number 3, I would meet with staff to inform them of the new policy and how it will work. My goal would be to help them understand its importance in regards to student development and school improvement. And I would also want to stress the importance of the accountability aspect as well. Number 4, I would share the new policy and its purpose with our parents and stakeholders at back to school night, on the school website, and through social media. I would also want to stress the accountability aspect with them as well. Number 5, I would offer continuous support to families through those relationships built, as well as working with our social services and juvenile services to help them with issues that affect their attendance. Number 6, I want to have ongoing communication with staff and community to confirm the policy and create an understanding of its importance. And then number 7, I want to follow up with families and staff on the positive sense of accountability that has been created through the relationship building process. I think once all of this is done, the policy is in place, you have kind of won your staff over as to why this is important, and they are no longer delegated the responsibility of excusing absences, and that is left up to me, and that's kind of taken work off of their plate. I think that this will come to fruition and be a positive thing. So I don't foresee any big problems with this. I think it's just going to take lots of time, lots of communication, and positive relationship building to get this done. Thank you all for listening. Take care.